When we started it, most of the debates really projected something. On the one hand, the whole of HS2 should be cancelled, and on the other hand, it should proceed at any cost. And obviously, when there was evidence for that, when you looked at it, there was a different nuance to the whole thing. We gave the Prime Minister our thoughts and said the whole of HS2 should proceed, but it was largely driven by the southern section to actually get that started, because the notice to proceed was due, and that was really driven by 4 factors. One, £9 billion had already been spent, and the opportunity to recover any of that was minimal. The land and property and communities along the route had been blighted for many years, and the construction industry was in a very fragile position, and had it been cancelled, it would have done tremendous harm to the supply chain across the whole of the UK and the construction industry in general. Also, the West Coast Mainline between London and Rugby was operating beyond capacity and hindering a reasonable service and a timely service for passengers and freight to the north. In addition to phase 1, though, which was the one that the bill had been through Parliament and passed, we strongly recommended to government that the whole of the Y network of HS2 was built, and that it was necessary to support the Midlands of the North for better connectivity. However, there was sufficient evidence that the whole of HS2 was being planned and designed on a gold-plated standard basis, and that no serious consideration to how it would be integrated into the network, recognising Network Rail's planned upgrades for the Transpennine upgrade, the Northern Powerhouse Railway and the Midland Engine. There was also concern that the eastern leg of HS2 would not be in service for another 20 years. Therefore, the review recommended that an integrated rail plan be developed along with an integrated investment plan. That would be hopefully bringing progressive improvement to the north rather than the big bang approach in 20 odd years' time, if the thing remained on time. So therefore, I was very pleased that government took up those recommendations and asked the National Infrastructure Commission to put together their opinions and views on the integrated rail plan and which priorities took place. And I understand that's going to be, actually a report's going to be published within the next few days. And likewise, as the Minister's already stated, the integrated rail plan will come out next year. And I believe that that will allow a lot more projects to be considered with proper prices being put on them and the priorities being given. And lastly, we advised that the whole of those works be several hybrid bills rather than one hybrid bill that was originally envisaged, which would have been the biggest hybrid bill government have ever seen. And bearing in mind that HS1 or phase 1, the bill was the first one to be received by Parliament electronically, because the actual weight of the documents was 250 kilos for one edition of the bill. So if we'd have continued as one bill for the whole of the rest of phase 2, I think this would have been a real problem, and therefore it was broken up. The thing I'm also pleased about is the revisions to the Green Book by Treasury, because I think now there's hope that we can get the economic case and the strategic case aligned properly, and proper consideration being given to agglomeration and the growth that rail and connectivity generates, which I think must almost certainly, if it's adopted in the right way, will do much to improve the opportunities for the North and certainly put them on an equal footing with the North with all these transport projects.